Okay, so now in this class we will see the concept called strain energy due to shear. Okay, so let us try to derive the expression for strain energy due to shear. So let us take a block ABCD. Okay, and from this let us try to name this. So this is fixed completely at the bottom. This is completely fixed at the bottom. So this is A, this is B, this is B1, this is C, this is C1, this is D. This inclination is phi. This inclination is also phi. This is subjected to a shear stress tau. Subjected to shear stress tau, and this shear stress is again like let me put it like this, like a principal stress concept. So you might be learning principal stress now in strength of materials. So in that concept you will see the a body subjected to both normal stress as well as shear stress, correct, right? So we will be trying to use a similar concept associated with the uh, a body subjected to load, and because of that load there is a shear stress at tau. Okay, now what do we need to do? Because of the presence of shear stress in a body, how to calculate or how to derive the expression for the strain energy, this is something that we will try to see here. Okay, so yes, so to start with, and here tau is the shear stress, tau is the shear stress. Okay, so consider a square block ABCD of length L. So consider a square block ABCD of length L. Okay, let tau be the shear stress, and capital G is the shear modulus. Capital G is the shear modulus. Okay, now sides sides BC and AD are subjected to shear stress, are subjected to shear stress, and AD is fixed. AD is fixed. So this is the basic preliminary data. Now the section. So if you see the whole block ABCD, what is happening? This ABCD is deforming by some amount. The ABCD is deforming by some amount. So the section ABCD will deform to A, B1, C1, D, correct, right? So A, B, C, D is deformed to A, B1, C1, D through the angle phi, through the angle phi, through the angle phi. Now, so when it is deformed by some amount, and what is this phi called as per the conditions that we try to use and try to adopt? So phi is the shear strain. So phi is equal to shear strain. Phi is equal to shear strain. Now, if you can try to see this, tan phi is equal to tan phi. So see here, tan phi is equal to opposite side by adjacent side. Opposite side is BB1 and adjacent is L height. So BB1 by L. Okay, tan phi is equal to BB1 by L. Now see, the thing is, whenever we talk about a shear, strain itself is a small parameter, right? So does strain have any units? No, strain doesn't have any units. And whenever we talk about a strain in a body or an object corresponding to the load applied, the value itself is very small. Now we are talking about shear strain. So shear strain is even small compared to the strain that we normally see because of the flexor or kind of axial kind of stuff. So now this shear strain is very small. So that means tan phi will become phi, as phi is very small, as phi is very small, tan phi is equal to phi. So therefore phi is equal to BB1 by L. Phi is equal to BB1 by L. So that is the expression that we have got. Now this is the shear strain. Now force is applied on face BC. Force P, force P is applied on face BC. Therefore, force P is equal to stress into area. Stress into area. Correct, right? Stress is equal to force by area. Force is equal to stress into area. So once we use that, so let us try to substitute. So what is now this is? So P is equal to stress is shear stress multiplied by area of the block. Area of the block. So therefore, P is equal to shear stress is tau and area of the block is BC into L. Area of the block is BC into L. We don't know what is BC. So let us name it as BC only. So BC into L. So this is the stress. Now imagine a case where when the force is gradually applied, when the force is gradually applied as per strain energy concept, U is equal to, so gradually applied load, it's not suddenly applied, it's a gradually applied load. So because it is a gradually applied load, so strain energy is equal to P by 2 into BB1. So what does that mean? So that is equal to average force multiplied by deformation. Average force multiplied by deformation. So there is a note point here that I will explain. So note. So what is this note point? If the load is suddenly applied, then strain energy is equal to P into delta for gradually applied, then strain energy is equal to half into P into delta. What is that? Half into P into delta. Okay. So the understanding that we need to get is, so see the case here. So there is an object. Okay. I'm holding a ball in my hand and I'm dropping it down. So it's a suddenly applied load. So which means whatever the force the ball is carrying through my hand will exactly pass on to the ground with the force I hit it without any deviation. That is a direct load applied. So that is a suddenly applied load. And if you want to calculate energy, it will give the product of force multiplied by deformation. That is nothing but area under the load deflection curve. Now, imagine a case where I'm walking on a ramp. I'm walking on a ramp of 20 feet. There's a 20 feet ramp from one end to the other, and I'm slowly walking. Like that, there are 3-4 people walking. So the load is slowly and gradually applied and increasingly applied. So first I enter the ramp, then second person enter the ramp, third person enter the ramp. So everyone is walking on the ramp to enter into a building. So there is an entrance, and in the entrance we have a ramp, and we are slowly entering into the building. That is a gradually applied load. Or another example is like our buildings. Our buildings, if you take, we will design it for a constant load. But sometimes when you go to offices or industries or any other supermarket, some extra items will come into picture. So the load will be gradually applied. So the load need not be always the full load. It is average load, and that average is P by 2. Now, in this case also, the load is gradually applied. When the load is gradually applied, as per strain energy concept, the average force multiplied by deformation will give the strain energy. Okay. So with that understanding, what we will do now, we will try to proceed with the derivation for the strain energy in the next step. So this is the note point. Now moving forward, yes. So what do we know now? We know that U is equal to P by 2 into BB1. Okay. U is equal to P by 2 into BB1. So now what is P? So P is equal to tau into that expression BC into L. BC into L. So therefore U is equal to half into tau into BC into L into BB1 into BB1. Okay. Now what is BB1? I can show it to you here. See, all of you. This is the change in the length. BB1 is the change in the length, this specific part. Okay. So how do we get this value? We know the strain and we know the length. So I'll show you this here. Sorry. Yeah. So we know that strain is equal to change in length by original length. Change in length by original length. Okay. So shear strain is equal to BB1. That's what it is deformed by L. And what is shear strain? So phi is equal to BB1 by L, and BB1 is equal to phi into L. Therefore, U is equal to half into tau into BC into L into phi into L. So tau into BC into L into phi into L. Okay. Yes. So but BC into L is equal to A, isn't it? That's what we have seen. So see here, tau BC into L is equal to area of the block A, and shear strain is phi is equal to shear strain is equal to shear stress by shear modulus. Shear stress by shear modulus. So therefore, so that means phi is equal to tau by G. So therefore, U is equal to half into tau into A, BC into L into phi. What is phi? Tau by G into L. Okay, tau by G into L. Now U is equal to, so U is equal to tau square by 2G into AL. So, but A into L is equal to volume. Area into length is equal to volume. Therefore, U is equal to tau square by 2G into volume. So, this is the strain energy due to shear. This is the strain energy due to shear. Okay. So, this is how we derive the expression for strain energy due to shear.